They told you the goal was sobriety. They fucking lied to you. See, I got a homeboy who just got out of prison, clean, said he wanted success, smoked a little meth the first week out. No structure, wrong environment, same brain, same results. I got a family member who went to treatment over a year ago, got clean, was working, grinding, doing everything right. Checked in on him this morning. No job, using again. And here's what they sell you. The goal is sobriety. No, man. Sobriety is the fucking baseline. That's the floor, not the finish line. The real goal is to escape the comfort zone and rewire the brain. That means new environment, new structure, new people, new inputs. Not some of it, all of it. Because your brain, it's always going to choose familiar over better until you make better familiar. Follow Coach Kevin Marvin for more of this every day.
Welcome back to the Living Proof Recovery Podcast. We're your host. I'm Evan. This is Brian.
What's up?
Tonight we're doing another little reaction video here to something we stumbled across on the old social medias the other day. And it's pretty spot on. So do you want to start off with it? Or?
I can. The first thing that hit me about it is he was talking about the sobriety is not the finish line, right? Sobriety is the baseline. That's the least amount expected.
Yep.
It's kind of like, I would think about it this way. Like if I'm a liar or if I'm a thief and I quit drinking, then I'm a sober liar. I'm a sober thief. I'm a sober piece of shit. Right? Like I'm I'm still the same person. But all that's happened is I've taken away the solution to my problems. Yeah. So I'm still the same irritable, angry, fearful person. So, and I don't think that's a good way to live life. Now, so there's caveats to this, right? Like in the beginning, that's goal number one, right? You just got to stop drinking, got to stop using. But at some point, it's like that's not enough.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not a big fan of the saying that we hear in meetings a lot. If you didn't drink today, you've had a successful day. Mm-hmm. Now, there's times when that's true, right? That's not just completely false. If you're having a bad day and you get through that day and you don't drink and you don't use, that's good. Like, that's a good thing. But I don't like to judge my character or my day or my success by whether I drank or not. There's more to it than that. Because like I said, like I can be a bad employee, I can be a bad husband, I can cheat on my wife, but I didn't drink today, so I had a successful day. And that's not the case.
Yeah, so I can look back to, like, in the beginning, that's kind of how my mind worked, though. Mm-hmm. Like how he said, if sobriety is, I can look back in the beginning, and that was my goal. I just got to be sober.
Yeah.
I just got to be sober.
Didn't even know what that meant.
Right, but little did I know at the time, like, yeah, that was my goal. I just want to be sober. I want to live today and be sober. But that was the starting line. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that then. You know what I mean? I really didn't. And it was kind of just get through the day sober. That's all you got to do. That's all it's about. And little did I know that getting sober was the easiest part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was the easiest part. Now, yeah, I get it. Detox sucks.
Yeah, but that's temporary.
But once we remove the substance and get sober, that's the easy part, right? But something what I really love about that is, there towards the end where he's talking about the brain is always going to choose familiar, mm-hmm. right?
And it does.
Until, we retrain the brain for better. Mm-hmm. And that's so true, because how many people do you see that come around to AA or whatever they're trying to do, and they show up for one meeting and then they don't come back because they're uncomfortable, or that's not for me, I'm not comfortable in there. Yeah, no shit, none of us were.
Yeah.
None of us were. That's us running back to the familiar.
You're a special kind of sick if you're comfortable when you go
Right,
there.
right. Like, you know what I mean? Because I used to do that all the time and keep myself in these, you know, situations where I wanted to be comfortable. As long as I felt comfortable, I was going to do that, whether it was the right thing or not, because that's what was familiar to me. Chaos. I stayed in chaos for so long because that's where I was familiar, instead of choosing better and getting there, right? So, you know, that's one of the parts that stuck out to me, because I've talked about it on here before, and we've touched on it. You know, getting uncomfortable, that's where we grow.
Yeah.
That's how we become better. That's how we train the brain for better. Staying in the familiar is going to keep me sick longer.
Yeah, for sure. I think that for a lot of us, this is all centered around fear, because better is like the enemy of good, right? Or great is the enemy of good. Because when we get something good, right, whether it's I got 30 days under my belt, I got 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is, I'm afraid to step out on faith and try and get uncomfortable, because I'm afraid I'm going to lose what I've attained, right? I'm afraid that what I've gained in that 90 days, that, well, what if I step out? What if that doesn't work out? Then I'm going to lose all of this. Like, I want to hang on to the little that I have, because I'm afraid that even though it's better, I'm going to have to get uncomfortable, and I'm going to get that better, I'm going to have to maybe risk the good that I have.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a big reward, you know, like, what's the saying? Fortune favors the bold. Like, so when you step out on stuff and you try new things, it might be hard, it might be scary, you know, in the beginning, but better is always better. You know, like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, better is better, you know? So, why would I just settle for the bare minimum? I've done that most of my life, just settled, you know? Yeah. I'm not going to try and go to school. I'm not going to try and do that. I'm not going to apply myself. I'm going to do just enough to fly under the radar where no one notices me. I don't have to take any risk, you know? But then I get envious and I get resentful at other people because I see that they have things and I don't.
Right.
And the reason I don't is because I won't step out on a little bit of faith and trust in a process that there's more to this than just white knuckling it every day.
Yeah.
You know, screw that, man. Like, I don't want to live like that. I've tried that before and it's miserable.
Yeah.
I've talked about it on here before. Like, when I took away drugs and alcohol, I didn't get better. Like, I got worse. You know, like, everything on the outside gets better. My relationship got better for a little bit. My job got better. My bills started to get paid, maybe balancing my checkbook, you know, like things like this, you know. But I got gas in my car, you know. But on the inside, man, I'm going to hell in a handbasket, like, super quick, you know, because I don't have anything, because I don't know how to live life. Like, I just didn't know how to live, you know. So imagine just going through the rest of your life. It's like every day is Groundhog Day. It's like, I just got to grind today, you know, just to make it. But I didn't drink today.
I can't imagine my life today as just, I just got to be sober today. I just got to stay sober today. Like, I couldn't imagine living my life that way after everything that God and this program has given me. Right? And the freedom that it's given me. You know, in the beginning, it was so uncomfortable stepping out there, and that's why I adopted the say yes mentality. That was to just force myself to get uncomfortable. That way I could do new things and have new experiences and grow as an individual. And without doing all this work and putting myself out there to get uncomfortable, I would have never known how to deal with all the emotions, the anxiety, the depression, you know what I mean? The fear, even the good times, you know, I wouldn't have learned how to deal with all of that. And, you know, today, like, it's all played a huge role in my life just by stepping out there. You know, if I just couldn't imagine just every day, well, as long as I just got to stay sober, as long as I stay sober, because, you know, kind of like you touched on it, like, yeah, I could not drink or use today, but am I going to be the husband I'm supposed to be, the father,
Right.
the employee? I wouldn't have stepped out with you on certain business ventures or this podcast that
Right.
we've went on, you know what I mean? All these different things. I would have never been able to do any of these things if my mentality was, I'm just going to stay sober today.
And you know what you would have been left with is regret.
Yeah.
You know, there would have been a lot of regret. There was something I was going to touch on that you said. I forgot what it was already. That happens like every time we do this. But, I know what it was. So, quantity doesn't equal quality, right? So, you know, you might hear something like, oh, well, he's been sober 12 years, so obviously he's doing something right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah. You know, like he hasn't put one in him in 12 years. Like, that's a great thing. Like, that's something that should be celebrated. Like, that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, both things can be true. You know, that maybe, so for example, I was at RAC Sunday and had for an AA meeting. 2 people showed up. There's just 2 people. But it was actually a good meeting because we were actually really able to like have some dialogue and like really talk about, I was able to answer some questions. And this young lady, she was asking about sponsorship, you know, about how to choose a sponsor, like what's important to look for. And her thing was, her idea was that the longer someone's been sober, that means that they're a better sponsor. And I told her, I said, that could be true. I said, you might meet someone that has 25 years of sobriety and they might be a rock star. Like they might be just a great sponsor. But you can also meet someone that's 25 years sober that is dry, that's white knuckling it, and that is just unhappy. Mm-hmm. You know, so the quantity, just the fact that you haven't drank for a long time doesn't mean that you have quality sobriety. Yes. They're not the same thing.
Yes.
They can be. Mm-hmm. You know, they can be. In a lot of cases, they are. But if I, like I said earlier, man, if we just put the drink down, that's like step 0.
Yeah.
You know?
And to kind of throw some in my 2 cents, whatever it's worth, you know.
It's worth 2 cents.
Maybe. Might be a little less, but, you know, shit, and then I am going blank now. But, you know, when you might have this length of sobriety, right? Mm-hmm. Versus somebody who only has, say, maybe a couple years, versus somebody that's got 20.
Right.
You know, this person with 20 years hasn't, maybe they shortchange themselves. Mm-hmm. So that
happens.
Yeah, like, and I believe, and it's not just, you don't have to be a member of AA, right? There's so many different avenues and ways to get sober, whether it's church or whatever it is. But if it's just, I'm not drinking or drugging today, but I've made it X amount of years without it, like, naturally, things are going to get better when we remove the substance. Mm-hmm. Naturally.
You're not going to get DUIs.
Right.
You're not going to get arrested.
Right.
At least not for those related things.
Like, naturally, our lives will improve just by removing the drink or the drug. But the true freedom isn't found that way.
No.
And that's what I'm saying by you're shortchanging yourself. by if that's your mentality of, I just got to be sober today.
But that's not freedom.
Right. You're missing out on getting what this thing is really about.
Hey, you're in chains, man.
Yeah.
Like you're still in, because you haven't got rid of the problem. It's like, say my house catches on fire, and I'm like, bro, it's all going to be good. I run upstairs to the smoke alarm, and I took the batteries out of the smoke alarm. So we don't have to hear the alarm going off anymore, right? That's not the problem. The fact that the alarm's going off isn't the problem. The problem is that my house is on fire, right? So it's like that is a symptom of my house being on fire, my smoke alarm going off, right? So I'm not taking care of what's really wrong because I'm still walking around with the same mind. I'm walking around with the same body. I'm walking around with the same sick spirit. I'm walking around with all this malady all over me, and whether I pick up a drink or not, I mean, it's better if I don't, but that doesn't mean that everything's okay. Like, I think the statistics show that the more of us commit suicide in sobriety than we do in active addiction. I mean, why do you think that is? No. Because you don't have anything to deal with the pain. You don't have anything to deal with life. So just doing that is not enough. I mean, it even tells us that in the big book, like, it's not enough. I think it says something like, a man who thinks that sobriety is enough is like, we're not understanding what our real purpose is. Like, how am I going to help you recover if my suggestion to you is just don't drink, right? And that might work for some people that aren't, as sick as us. But you might come across someone like us and tell them that, and it end up killing them, because that's bad advice. That's just an opinion that maybe worked for you that won't work for the real deal. Somebody who can't just not do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, I think, like, I was thinking about this earlier, that us in recovery, we're like the only people that want like a medal for running out of a burning building. It's like, I didn't drink today. And it's like, well, good. Like, that's great. Like, it really is. I don't want to come across like that's not a big deal, because it is. Like, that's huge. But I mean, once you hit a certain point, it's like, it's time to get on with living. Like, it's time to live your life. It's not about just, I center my life around meetings or AA, because then that becomes my religion in a way. And I'm putting my marriage off to the side. I'm putting my kids off to the side. No, I got to be in a meeting. I can't come to your graduation, or I can't do this, or I can't do that, or, I can't go out to Walgreens, because the fear of I might drink today, and I think it's just important to get with somebody that understands that there's just more to life than just not drinking.
Yeah, and that's...
Because if there's not, what's the point?
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But there is, the goal is to step out of the comfort zone, like he said, and rewire the brain. So, I don't necessarily... So I drank and drug I started at like 13 years old, right? And got sober now at 34. So here I am at 38. And, I've seen statistics where it talks about, and I don't know the exact numbers, I don't remember them. I'm not going to act like I do. But it talked about, well, if you used for this amount of time, it's going to take this amount of time to rewire your brain and do, because you can relearn,
create new neural pathways.
Right. For 20 years, I lived one way of using and drinking and drugging. So in the beginning, it was always like, well, it's going to take me 20 years to undo the
it doesn't
damage.
take that long.
And that's not the reality of it,
Yeah,
right?
it's not equal, like, 1 for 1. Like, it doesn't.
Right.
I mean, I guess it
does
could
it
be, but...
does it take time? Yes, it does take time, but it takes work. It takes action. That's how you do that. And that's what he's saying there is the goal is to escape the comfort zone and rewire the brain. How do I begin to do that? That's by stepping out and getting uncomfortable, by stepping into some form of help, whatever I would have chose to do, whatever program that is, or church, whatever it is, and started putting in some action. And it was a lot of uncomfortability in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But through the work and everything that I was able to do, like, the brain has been rewired. Like, the desire to drink or drug, that's never even a thought or an option for me. When things go bad, I never think about, oh man, I want to drink right now.
Yeah, I don't either.
Or I want to use some drugs. Like, that is never even a thought. And why is that? It's because the brain can be rewired. Mm-hmm. I lived like that for so long, and it's no longer an option for me.
Yeah.
Masking, you know, I believe, so if, like, I don't want to, and I know people do need medications and things like that. I get it. Mm-hmm. But not all of us need those things.
Most people in general are overprescribed.
Right. So I don't want to, I know there's a way out of all of that. You know, there is a way out.
Yeah.
Some people, they do need it. You know
For sure.
what I mean? But addicts and alcoholics are easily diagnosed by doctors with all these mental illnesses.
Because they're symptoms of alcoholism.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as addicts and alcoholics, we're like, you're right.
I am bipolar.
That's what's wrong with me.
I am bipolar.
So I'm not going to drink anymore, but you know what I mean? And it just, you know, it's, that's where, and I honestly, I feel like that's where a lot of us shortchange ourselves as well. You know?
So I have some experience with that, right? Like,
I know you do.
Like, when I got sober, or since maybe late teens, probably like 17 years old, I started taking antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication, some antipsychotics. Like, I started taking all these things because I was diagnosed as being clinically depressed. But I wasn't. I thought I was. Right? Like, doctors, because all the symptoms of drug addiction, untreated alcoholism look like clinical depression. They look like clinical anxiety. They look like PTSD. Like, they look, now I do have that, but they do look like all of these things, right?
Yeah.
So when I got sober, well, I always thought it was funny. Like, when you end up in treatment, they're like, the nurses, they'll ask you these questions, or the doctor will, to get you on some meds. You know, they go through the checklist, like, scale of 1 to 10. Like, are you depressed? Like, yeah. Like, I've been on a 3-week meth binge. Like, yeah, I'm depressed. Of course, my life is on fire.
Depleted. No energy.
Yeah, of course I'm anxious. I'm in a treatment center. Like, I don't have drugs. Like, yes, I'm anxious as fuck. I'm having trouble sleeping. Yeah. How'd you know? Right. You know, like everybody's a 10, you know, and it's like, okay, yeah. And that doesn't mean that we don't have them symptoms, because we do, right? But a lot of it is just untreated alcoholism or untreated drug addiction, because I got on those medications when I was in treatment, and I continued them when I got out of treatment. And I got with my psychiatrist and my therapist and expressed some interest in getting off of them. Mm-hmm. And because I'd done the work, I'd done the therapy, the trauma therapy, I'd done the 12-step work, I've done all of that stuff, right? And I was like, you know, like, I don't think I need these. Like, I don't think that I'm clinically depressed, you know? And so they weaned me off, and I got off of them, and guess what? The depression was gone. The anxiety is like a normal level of anxiety. The PTSD is under control. Like I don't take medications for any of that stuff, you know, and that's because I did the work that I needed to do. Number one, I was wrongly diagnosed because that's what it looks like. You know, I was diagnosed with bipolar. You know, it's because I was speedballing. Like I was doing opiates and drinking, and then next week I'm doing meth and cocaine. I'm like, I'm just up and down all the time. And they're like, yeah, you're probably bipolar. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I'd much rather that be my diagnosis. I couldn't wait to come home and tell my wife that I was diagnosed with bipolar. And see, it's not the drugs.
Right.
You know? But anyway, so I've experienced that. Now that doesn't mean that there aren't people that need those things, because there are.
I'm not saying that.
There's 100%, and if you're taking those and if they're helping you, that's fantastic, right? That doesn't mean that I'm not one of these people that believes that, well, you're not sober if you're taking antidepressants. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not a doctor, right? Like, if that's helping you, that's fantastic, right? Because you may need it, you know, but you may not.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but we don't know until we get a little uncomfortable and we kind of investigate some things, you know, and see what life can actually be like unmedicated. You know, it's a really good feeling to not have to be medicated.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I wasn't saying that everybody, like,
oh, no, I know what you're saying. I feel like we have to reiterate that.
Yeah. And, you know,
someone will get butthurt.
I try to look at even, you know, this, not just the prescribed medications. You know, everybody's path looks different. Maybe you quit using heroin, but now you just smoke weed.
Right.
Like, if you're doing that and your life is getting better, I'm not going to judge you over it. Is it my, you know, is that my chosen path or what I would recommend? No, it's not. But that's okay, you know.
You're also not sober.
Right.
but that's fine. Like, that's fine. Like if I could get away with smoking weed, I would smoke weed.
Yeah, nowadays that, you know, people do have different things. There's groups that do different things, you know, which, you know, it's not, like I said, it's not how I want to live or what I want to do, but, you know, I just try to remind myself, like, I don't have to agree with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have to agree with the way you do it, but if it works for you and your life has gotten better, you know, more power to you.
Yeah, tip my cap to you, man. Like, keep it moving. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. I've got friends who were 100% sober for 10 plus years, and now they just smoke weed, and they're managing somehow. Like, more power to you.
Yeah.
You know, I've tried in the past, doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me either.
This is, you know, this is just my personal experiences that, you know, we share on here and opinions, which everybody's entitled their own opinion, right?
Yeah.
But I too had that same type of experience when I was in treatment this last time, because it's uncomfortable. I'm anxious, depressed, you know what I mean? I'm scared of everything, not knowing what's going to happen while I'm in there or what's going on with my family on the outside. Like, I'm not sure. It's all the unknowns. And they did the same thing. And I took, they had, I don't even remember what it was, but they would give me sleeping medicine at night. And there for a couple weeks I took that. But then I was kind of like towards the end. And they gave me something for anxiety. I don't even know what the hell it was. They were just like, we can give you this for anxiety, and I'm like, sure, I'll take it. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But
can I boof it?
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, towards the end of it, I was there. I had been there for a month. Some time had passed.
Right.
I started feeling better, and I get it. I was taking this medication, and it takes time for that stuff to get in there, but
Yeah.
I was kind of getting to that point where I was like, I don't think I'm really like need this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I stopped taking the sleeping meds before I left there because I was like, I don't want to depend on some pill to
Sleep.
have to go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
And then but I remember leaving there, and I've got all these fucking pop out books full of pills that they're like, well, you get to take these home with you.
Yeah.
And then go see your doctor and let them know what you're taking so they can prescribe you to them. And when I walked out, I was just like, man, I had them.
Right.
And I took them home with me. And then they sat in my closet for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are these even still here?
Yeah.
Like, because they were telling me I was these things, but really I was just a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, untreated alcoholic.
Alcoholic, so.
Off the tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And just thank God, that I jumped on and just rode this thing out and really got to experience what it's about.
Yeah, like familiarity. That can be really troublesome, I guess is the word, because I want to, and we talked about this on the last episode, so I won't beat this dead horse too much, but it's just like when we're just, and you talked about it some too, like when we're just so comfortable, it's not good.
No.
It's just not good because it leads me back to everything that I always do. And it might not even be using. But I was talking to Joe today, and we were talking about how we will find some way to treat our alcoholism. Right? So I might not go back to the beer, I might not go back to the opiate, but I might go back to, or I might start gambling, or I might get addicted to porn, or I might develop some kind of seeking food for comfort, whatever it is, right? Like I'm going to find, it might be my job, money, property, like prestige, like, I'm going to find something that's going to scratch that itch, right? Like, and what happens when I do that, I end up hurting other people, because I step on people at work because I'm trying to climb the ladder. I'm trying to get ahead of them, or I get in bad health because I'm just shoving nachos down my throat every night, or ice cream or something to make me feel, or to just make me comfortable. Like I'm just constantly, or I don't do shit and I just sit around and vegetate, so I think like sober is passive, recovery is active, so just not drinking, but I'm not doing anything like to better myself, but if I'm in recovery, that's different, right? Because I'm trying to achieve things, like I'm trying to better myself, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to help the next guy, I'm trying to get outside of myself. Like you talk about the brain being rewired, like that's totally foreign for me, right? Like when I got sober, it was like when I started doing things for other people, I was like, wow, like this is totally different.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the center.
Selfish asshole.
Yeah, like I'm not the center of attention, and I'm not doing it for attention, and I'm not doing it to feel better. I end up feeling better because I do it. Like the helper gets the help, but I'm not doing it for that reason. It's just like, I don't know. It's like I woke up one day and was just like, man, I just think different. Like I act different. I react different. And like my motives change. And that's what's going on, like you said, my default is different now. My default is, let's take a look at this, and see maybe I need to go look in the mirror and ask myself, where am I to blame here? You know, maybe I need to think about somebody else, you know, instead of being a victim.
Yeah.
You know, and because I've tried that whole thing where I'm just not going to drink. You know, the first 2 times I got sober, that's what I did, and nothing changed.
Yeah.
You know,
because you hadn't experienced that complete psychic change.
No,
that
not at all.
You know, we talk about in AA.
No.
You know,
no, like so. I think it's probably what from my head to my heart's probably what a foot and a half. Like that's a long distance. You know, like it doesn't seem like it, but it really is, because before it was just head knowledge. You know, oh yeah, I know that I need to not drink, and I know that I probably need to do things differently. But I didn't believe it in my heart, and I thought in my heart that, well, you know what, just not drinking is good enough because it's better than what I was doing, which is not wrong.
Yeah.
Right? But it's short-lived. You know, like eventually I get uncomfortable enough to where I go, you know what, I've done pretty good at this thing this far, and so I can go back to doing it, and I'm going to manage it better, and even if I don't, I'll just stop again. You know, that's dangerous, man. Like, I mean, the kind of stuff that's out there now, that'll kill somebody.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Real fucking quick.
Yeah. I guess, you know, one thing that there's this documentary that I watched that someone told me about. I can't remember what it was called, and it was like a YouTube documentary, right? And it was like a couple hours long, but it was about like 2 brothers from Ohio.
We watched it work. Did we watch clips of that?
I think I watched some of it at work, one day. But it was about these 2 brothers from Ohio, and they were heroin addicts, and you know, I think they ended up opening a treatment center together, and one of the brothers was constantly in and out and struggling and relapsing and coming back, and it was all this chaos all the time while the other brother was sober the whole time. And then at the end of the documentary, the brother that was always in and out overdosed and died. And then the other brother completely changed his whole idea of what sobriety was, and then he flipped it to, because, you know, I believe he went back out again, but just not to the drug of choice.
Right.
He was doing something else, right? Something different. And that was his whole thing was, you know, as long as you're not back to using your drug of choice, you're good. You're in recovery to me.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember that or if you watched it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, like how quick he became sick again because of this tragic accident that happened. And that right there shows like the brain was never rewired.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what type of stuff that scares me for people in recovery, when you hear people like, because I know in their community they were looked at and viewed as like these great men who were doing these great things for their community, but also leading people astray. You know what I mean? And it's just so dangerous, and there's just so much more out there than that life, you know?
Yeah.
And I've tried that so many times, well, I'm just not going to go back to shooting heroin anymore. I'm just not, because that was my drug of choice, was heroin and opiates, you know. I'm just not going to go back to that. And it wasn't any better for my life in any way whatsoever. You know what I mean? Luckily, I went to other things that, well, not luckily, but the other things I did, I wasn't like overdosing off of those.
Right.
But my life was still a complete shit show.
Yeah, tornado.
Yeah, you know, and I just,
It's like playing musical chairs, or it's like arranging seats on the Titanic.
yeah,
You're still
for
sinking.
sure. Yeah.
You're still sinking.
I just am so passionate about recovery, and I know what this thing is about now, and it took me a long time to get there, that I want everyone to experience it. And I don't like when people, like I said, can shortchange themselves, because I did it for so long, right? And didn't fully give into this whole process because it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why we can't water it down.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, and I was thinking that when you said it. Once you experience what it's like, all you want is everybody else to experience it. And sometimes, like, we can come across, like, not saying we, just people in general, once you get that, like, you get this fire inside of you, and it's like, I want you to feel it. I want you to feel it. I want you to understand. Like, I want you to experience this so bad that sometimes maybe we come across a little too over the top, or sometimes, you know, like, people, maybe that's how they take it. You know, or that it's like, it's our way or the highway. It's like, no, but I understand, like, there is a way out, and your life can be so much better. You know, like, yes, your life is good right now.
Yeah.
But it can be better.
Right.
And that's what the God of my understanding wants me to experience. He wants me to get all the blessings. You know, I think he wants that for you. I think he wants that for all of his kids. You know, so why settle for mediocre, for, you know, at least I'm not drinking today. It's like I said before, man, I feel like I have to keep reiterating this. Like, that's a good thing, but good, like I said, good is the enemy of great. You know, I think that every one of us is put here to do something great with our lives, whether it's big or small. But when we do it, we don't know if it's that we're doing it, and we don't know if it's big or small. You know, like, somebody did something for me and brought me out of the darkness to the light, and they probably didn't realize at the time that they were doing a great thing. You know, but the way that the ripple effect is of that is that person did it for me, and then I've done it for somebody else, and then for somebody else, and then for somebody else, and then they turn around and do it for somebody else, you know, and then it becomes this big thing when it was a small thing in the beginning. And that person probably thought, oh, I'm just doing a little small thing. I'm driving this guy to a meeting, or whatever it is, right? It's this little act of kindness to help somebody, but it turns out in the long run to be this huge thing that helps dozens, hundreds, thousands of people, right? So I think, why rob ourselves of that? Or why rob other people of being able to? Because I really believe this, man, that if we don't recover, and if we don't stick around, somebody's going to die.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I believe that. I believe that we are put here to help someone. And if I'm not in a place where I can't transmit something I don't have, you know, and I don't know when I'm going to meet that person. You know, I might think that, that might happen in 5 years, but 5 years from now, you know, I'll do the work, you know, and I'll get to a place where I can do that. Like, I might run into that person at 4 months sober.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know when that opportunity's coming. I don't know when it's going to knock, right? So the downtime's got to be the prep time. Like, I have to be ready for when that meeting happens, because I don't know when it's coming. You know, so
Definitely.
I don't know, but there was something else that he said. I'm trying to remember everything that he was talking about on there, but I can't.
I mean, he said a lot, and it was all
pretty quick.
Pretty quick in a short amount of time. So.
Yeah, I know when I first saw that, when you posted it, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, yes. Because I think that's a controversial thing to say. You know, I don't think it's a popular thing to say, but it's true.
Yeah, it was spot on.
And and if that offends somebody, then maybe they need to be offended.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why it probably offends you. The first time I got sober, if I would have saw that, it would have probably offended me. I would have been like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
Who are these guys?
Yeah.
Talking about what I'm doing is not enough. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah, definitely.
But,
so,
it's all about growth, man. Like, we've got to, that doesn't mean that if that's what you're doing right now, that it's wrong. It just means that there's more.
Yeah, it's the path you're on right now.
Yeah.
But, there, like you said, there's just so much more to this thing, and the freedom. You can't even begin to explain it.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, you have to experience it.
Yeah, you have
to experience it. It's like if someone told you, "Hey, man, I know I've been selling you this heroin, and it's good, but I've got some heroin over here that's better."
Yeah.
Would you be like, I really don't want the better heroin. I think I'll stick with just the good.
Right.
Because I know it's good. But, like, really? Like, no, but it's kind of the same thing. I would take my drug dealer's word, but I won't take someone's word that's in recovery.
Yeah. Fight it to the end.
Yeah, tooth and nail.
And
nail. Like, I'm gonna learn the hard way.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, me too.
I did it for a long time.
Me too. Me too. And that's why we give a shit. Like, if we didn't give a shit, we wouldn't do this, and we wouldn't like say controversial things. Like, I mean, we need to be challenged.
Yeah.
Just as people, like, we need to be challenged. I need to be challenged still every day. And I welcome it today. Like, I want to be challenged. Like, I don't want it to be easy. Not everything. I want some things to be easy. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
But but there's some things that I want to be able to, because you don't appreciate anything if it's not hard.
Yeah.
If you don't have to work for it, like, big deal. Maybe that's why it's so easy to relapse, because I didn't work for it. But if I've invested in myself, in other people, and if I've invested my time, and then maybe there's a little bit more willingness to keep going because I have some stake in the game.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's part of even what this podcast was about.
Yeah.
Selfishly. You know what I mean? A little more insurance. A little more. I don't know if anybody's listening, but maybe
probably not.
maybe somebody is. Maybe one day somebody will hear it, and it just puts a little bit more in my tank to keep me going.
For sure.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But yeah, I think. You got anything else?
No. I think we did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're not getting uncomfortable, it's time to start.
Yeah, for sure.
We love you guys.
Jump in the boat with us.
Yeah, we love you guys, and I will. I'll leave it with my favorite quote. Say yes. Say yes as often as you can.
Thought you were going to say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Nope, not this time. But saying yes begins things. Saying yes is how things grow. Saying yes will lead to new experiences, and new experiences will lead to knowledge and wisdom.
That's right.
Yes is for the brave.
Come on.
Attitude of yes is how we move forward during uncertain times.
Love it.
Get uncomfortable, baby. We love you guys.
Yep. Love you guys.